30 seconds left. Only 20 seconds. Alright. Hello. You may have forgotten me. My name is Cold Warpgates, and today we'll be hosting the CPL cast. I've been gone for a while. I think it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I casted, but I moved. I'm situated in my new apartment. I've got a new internet connection. It's pretty hype. But anyway, today I'm going to bring you, as you can see on the screen, some games from week 5, which I think is like 3 weeks ago. As you can see, it's between Fear Factory and the Cheese Police. Interesting fact I realized after I downloaded these replays, 7 out of 8 of these players are Zerg. And I, being a Protoss player, am of course the optimal choice to cast this group. And with that disclaimer out of the way, let's just start the game. Alright, I forgot. Actually, this is Polypoid? Dude, I don't remember any of these hotkeys. What am I doing? Wait. Okay. Alright, we did it. The rust is real. Here we go. In the bottom left of Polypoid, we have the purple Zerg Yavolo from the Fear Factory team. And in the top left, the bluish-gray Zerg Hatchery Cake fighting for Cheese Police and representing the clan Nam. Alright, so ZVZ, of course. I think definitely like the most ZVZ or TVT are the one of those is the most infamous matchup. That's for sure. Both the most like unique matchups, I think. ZVZ is of course known for being really fast, really low worker and unit counts, very aggressive. Especially in CPL, you sometimes see some real shenanigans. You know, like Hydra builds. We've seen like Hive Tech at least once, which was mega hype. We'll see if we see any of that tonight. In this game here, looks like Hatchery Cake is going for a 9 pool with an extractor trick. Or I guess not even a trick, just a gas. So it's going to be 9 pool gas. Meanwhile, it's going to be overpool with gas for Yavolo here in the bottom left. So I know I said that I'm a Protoss player. I feel like I've seen enough games of ZVZ, at least at this level, to like recognize builds and maybe talk about what they can do, but I can't call any fights. Like, if I see 2 blobs of Zerglings fighting each other, I just have no idea who's going to win. So try to bear with me on that. Anyway, it seems like Yavolo just has a slightly later pool and gas, but you know, that translated into that faster Overlord, which is translated into 1 more drone, which is not an insignificant advantage. But of course, Hatchery Cake starting this layer first. And actually, it seems like Yavolo is spending their first 100 gas on speed, not the lair. So, as is typical in this matchup, we're going to have a window of time where one player has speed and the other player is getting some other advantage, be it like a second hatchery or faster tech. So there's going to be a small window of time where Yavolo has the chance to do some damage with these speedlings, and then there will be a window of time where Hatchery Cake has the Spire tech done first. Otherwise, these builds are very similar timing. But to see here, looks like there's actually more lings for Hatchery Cake here as they meet on the mineral-only 3rd kill here of Polypoid. Yavolo deciding to just run around and not take the fight at all, does lose a ling in the process. manages to get up the ramp, but I kind of feel like this is a bad idea. I feel like you're kind of committing to losing all of these lings now. Of course, there you go. Speed is done. Oh, but they 2 lings still get caught out, so Hatchery Cake still has a big advantage in numbers here. What? How is that drone still alive? This drone has 3 HP, probably healed back up from 1. The luckiest drone in the world. All the drones stack into 1 mineral patch. 1 goes down, but I think like 8 lings have died from Yvello, something like that. So quite a few larva advantage here for Hatchery Cake. Quite a large larva advantage is how English works. But still that 1 drone lead for Yvello. Let's see. The Spire is started at home. For both players, just a bit, you know, I guess like half, 50% of the meter ahead for Hatchery Cake. Yvello did get this sunken, which I think is probably a smart move if you just suicided all of your lings. Oh, but there's a run by while Hatchery Cake is sending in their superior numbers of lings. Yvello tries to backstab. I think we saw at least 1 drone die here, but with the drone pull and some reinforcing lings, Hatchery Cake stays in the game. It looks like there was a big conflict here at the ramp. Yvello taking advantage of the defensive position, but like if you've already built the sunken, is it better to hold the ramp? Like, I honestly just don't know. Like, I feel like if you've already built the sunk, you're gonna get an advantage fighting near the sunk, right? But then again, maybe you just don't want to deal with having lings in your mineral line at all, which is completely understandable. So we have these mutas, which are going to pop right before the Spire of Yvello finishes. So what can Hatchery Cake do with these? Oh, we even only have 2 mutas from Yvello. I guess one of the larvae must have been spent just a little bit too late. Both players going for armor, so I think we're going to see just like pure mutas from now on. Both players seem very invested. That 3rd muta for Yvello does start. Oh, but Yvello loses an Overlord. Very unfortunate. Hold on, didn't... Okay, I know that I never mentioned it, but like at the start of the game, Hatchery Cake's Overlord went in the right direction. I guess this must be the starting Overlord, right? It must have been pulled back at some point, which is, you know, a pretty smart thing, because I feel like we normally see these Overlords like try to escape at the last possible minute and then end up getting caught by the mutas. And we have the we had the sight range upgrade for the Overlord in production for a brief period of time. Just a little misclick there. So Yvello continues, basically just YOLO everything. Just try to get past the defenses and kill drones. And honestly, it's working out all right here, because even though Hatchery Cake has way more mutas, the mutas of Yvello are slaughtering these drones. But now, if Hatchery Cake could just hit that a move and shoot micro right there, all of these mutas would be dead. As it is, one of them is almost dead, and the rest of them are bruised. Looks like Hatchery Cake decides not to force the issue. Oh, never mind, because there's lings in the natural. Oh my god, Yvello it's a one-track mind here. Just kill drones. Nothing else matters. It's now 10 drones to 4. And we can safely say that the tech advantage for Hatchery Cake has been neutralized. And it's even 3 drones right now. Super sad, and this has given Yvello time to build up a significant flock here of mutas and Scourge. Scourge go in. These 2 are getting a bit confused. Hatchery Cake with some nice micro here picks off the remaining Scourge. Now it's going to be 5 to 5, but both players are just like, nah, forget that. I'm going to kill drones. And Hatchery Cake trying to run away, trying to hide these drones, but it's just too late. The mutas are right on top of them. There is no escape, but the same thing can be said for the drones of Yvello. Are these Scourge going to get some hits? Alright, so this is pretty much the end of all unit production in this game. There's absolutely nothing in the production queue for Hatchery Cake. Probably could start a drone, but I don't know if it would even live. We have 5 mutas to 4, and you know, 5 is bigger than 4, so I assume that Yuvolo is going to win this game. Very close, actually. His damage was split so evenly. Oh, never mind. We have two reinforcing mutas show up. And Hatchery Cake taps out of what can only be described as a very close game, right? Like, for a minute there, it was 0 drones to 0 drones, and like 3 mutas to 3 mutas. I feel like mathematically that has to be one of the closest games I've ever seen. So Rolo does just barely squeak by with the first game in this series. Let's go into game 2 on Ascension. So I take a sip of water. And as I forget to transition the scenes... Oh no, there we go. Alright, here in the 12 o'clock position of Ascension, just barely getting edged out in the previous game. It's Hatchery Cake in the, I don't know, peach Zerg. And the bottom right in the black Zerg, it's Yavolo. Just a little bit later with that drone, I wonder if that's like mining efficiency or just a mistake, because I know that like these spawns like on Neo Sylphid or this map where the minerals are up above the base are like slightly faster, I think, and I think it even makes up for the fact that the larvae are always on the bottom. Both players scouting in the wrong direction, which can be a pretty big deal in this matchup. Of course, like, the Overlord is so slow that you're going to have to decide what build you're doing by the time it makes it to your opponent's base, but you still get so much information from that. Like, you see how many drones they have, you see how many larvae they're spending on lings, you see what timing their tech is at, and this means that both players are going to be in the dark for just a little bit longer. Both players getting an Overlord before the pool. Seems like we might be going for some kind of 12 hatch and or 12 pool here. I think that was technically an 11 pool from Yavolo, just a little bit more, just a little bit less greedy there. But meanwhile, Hatchery Cake starting starting their natural hatchery. So again, we're going to see this situation where Yavolo is going to have an advantage for a period of time where they're going to have lings and speed much earlier than Hatchery Cake. But if Hatchery Cake can survive long enough, having double the unit production is going to be pretty strong. And a lot of that is going to come down to the decision making and micro of both players. And we already know that Yavolo loves to be on the attacking side of things. Even when in the previous game they technically had like the more economic opener, they were still just constantly trying to kill drones. So I feel like in this position where the rock paper scissors setup of these builds gives Yavolo like the task to be aggressive, they're going to thrive here, is what I'm trying to say. We see these lings are already headed out. Both players have gone to the third spawn, so they know where their opponent must be. I like how both players decided to take their scouting overlords back to the base of Hatchery Cake. It's an interesting choice here. So we have some lings popping out. The colors make it really hard to see what's going on here, and they're both yellow. Uh-oh. So this was hosted in melee, not top versus bottom. Seems like with those lings spawning from the natural Hatchery Cake, kind of got a surround there. And the speed for Hatchery, or yeah, oh god, I'm getting so confused. So the speed for Hatchery Cake is on the way. Did we actually see speed for Yavolo? Yes, this is speed, right? Okay, I'm just confused because the layer's so much faster, but that's just because of the faster pull. I'm struggling, guys. I'm trying. It's a CVZ and both players are like the same color. Now that I look at it. So it seems like Hatchery Cake has survived this attack. Their speed is done. They have one more drone. Their tech is not that far behind, and they have this second hatchery for one more larva every 17 seconds or whatever time period it is. Interesting. So this time, Yavolo is going up to 2 Sunkens, aware of the big lane advantage for their opponent. And this is probably smart because it's going to be so hard to survive against this giant conga line of things here. But that does mean you're down more drones. Here we go. The second finishes just in time. Trying to position the fight in such a place that both Sunkens can shoot. There we go, just barely. The Sunken gets on like 2 or 3 hits in the whole fight, but it's enough. It's enough for Volo to win, but then they are much too optimistic once the fight is done. And it seems like Hatchery Cake's Spire just finished. Oh, but the Spire of Yavolo might get sniped here. The Sunken, can it kill the Lynx fast enough? Yes, and that's actually really huge. We still don't see any mutas started. Seems like Yavolo is not sure what they're doing. Maybe this drone was pulled to build a second Spire? If this one died, I'm not sure. Here we go. We do finally have the mutas starting production, and this is going to give the muta player a bigger window of time than they had in the previous game. Even though the roles were swapped, just because it seems like Hatchery Cake didn't make that Spire either because they were just focused on the fight, or I don't know, they were gonna try to go kind of all in and kill with the Link Flood. Seems like the hatcheries of Hatchery Cake are just rallied in the base of Yavolo, because we even have some Overlords here in the middle of the map. Oh, but who cares about that? The Spire does go down after all, so we're going to have 4 mutas for Yavolo until that Spire can be remade. But honestly, that might be enough here, because we only have 2 for Hatchery Cake, and they just started production. They're going to run all over the space, kill as many drones as possible. I don't understand what this idea is with trying to hide these drones, because like they're definitely not mining like that, right? Like they're like basically dead if they're not mining. Like I don't think you can like base race. I don't know. I don't think there's really any good choices when your drones are being shot at. Just, here we go. Yavolo does look elsewhere, leaving their mutas take a shot, abandoning this poor guy to his fate. There were 2 more mutas in production, right? Oh my god! It seems like Yavolo didn't even want to try to remake the Spire. Just got 2 creep colonies and an Evo chamber, going to make spores. But like, what are you holding on for? I guess at this point you're just going to make links. It's kind of like both players are going to swap. But Hatchery Cake here with these lings. There's still 2 Sunkens. Seems like Yavolo will be able to hold on. Doesn't lose even 1 drone here, I think. So Yavolo does have double the drone count, but how are the mutas doing? There we go. There's the 3rd and 4th mutas, and there's only 3 for Hatchery Cake, but Yavolo doesn't even care. They're just going to try to kill all the drones. That's maybe win this matchup. Oh, here we go. We have some moving shot micro here. So Yavolo cannot run. But honestly, like, I feel like if they just fought from the beginning, they would have won this fight. No, we're back to killing drones. So even if these mutas do get cleaned up, I mean, Yavolo is basically completely impenetrable here. The Spire is restarted. So until that finishes, Yavolo is just going to send out lings, try to kick Hatchery Cake while they're down. We even see the ground carapace started for Yavolo, just trying to do something with this gas. You don't really need armor to kill drones, though. These are all of the drones of Hatchery Cake. the mutas save them. That does not seem so, at least for that one drone. There's just 2 drones left. Oh, this one ducks into the gas to avoid being killed. Very nice touch. 2 more lings here, but these 3 the mutas hit them up very quickly. So I really feel like Diavolo is just in the winning position now, given that, you know, they have more than 3 times as many drones. And it even looks like the drone of Hatchery Cake was killed somewhere while I was not paying attention. So 2 lings did better than I thought. That 3rd drone is replaced, but it's not really where you want to be. Some lings from Hatchery Cake, I don't know when these came out, but they're not enough to stop the 6 lings here of Diavolo, who, true to form, is just going to continue to dive on the mineral line. Does not seem to be doing as well this time. Hatchery Cake trying their best, trying to keep every drone alive. They're all precious. This time they do all make it. But now we have 3 more mutas for Diavolo. Now that this Spire is done, now I can guarantee you they're not going to try to fight for air superiority. They're just going to try to kill drones again. What focus? What determination? Oh, here we go. Oh, see, even when the mutas show up, it still took a few shots on the drones. That might be enough to tip it in favor of the defender here. I'm not sure. It's very close. It seems like Diavolo is barely going to be ahead, microing this one back and just slightly too late. But now it's 1 muta to 1 muta, and it's about a 20 HP advantage. Another really close fight here. 10 to 7 HP. That's wild. In 2 very close games here, Diavolo takes the series. That's going to put 1 point on the board for the Fear Factory. And then we can get into our second ZVZ series of the day. Or hold on, nope. It's going to be the PVZ series of the day. Something that I can at least pretend to know things about with a bit more credit. Oops, I didn't start the game yet. There we go. Doing really good. Alright. In the top right of Polypoid, in the red Protoss, it's My Couch pulls out. I'm just going to call Couch for convenience. In the bottom left, it's the Blue Zerg Frog, aka Frog. I remember, I think I cast Couch like in the preseason or something. I don't really remember what they did. I feel like they were tier 2 before, so maybe they got promoted to tier 1, which is pretty cool. Frog, all I know is that they beat Least a few weeks ago. So, you know, that's pretty clutch. Alright, so we have Couch here. I'm going to start this wall. Now, if the probe goes back, it's probably going to be Gateway. If the probe leaves, it's probably going to be Forge, as I've said many times, but I have been disproven at least once. Gateway is definitely like the more popular way right now, like the more meta way, but I think Forge is still good, especially if you're bad and rusty like me. Like, the Forge expand is definitely just way simpler to pull off. Gateway, you have to look at way more timings and be very precise in your micro and all that good stuff. Frog going for the ultra standard overpull build here. Of course, it's like not necessarily like optimal against most builds, but it's good enough against basically everything that the Protoss can do. We do have the Forge started. Are we seeing a double scout from Couch? No, it's probably just pre-pulled to build a cannon. I think you actually don't need a cannon here. Like, I think Couch should wait to scan this, because, like, if you see that this spool's not even done yet, and it's a cross map, then, like, I'm pretty sure you can build Nexus and then cannon. Also, I want to point out that Frog did a very smart trick, kept their drone here, so that Couch went past it, and then brought it out to build a natural hatchery, which meant that Couch didn't see the hatchery and didn't have a chance to block it. So just a nice little trick you can pick up as a Zerg player here. But overall, the game is fine for both players. The natural Nexus is coming along. We're gonna have the third hatchery start here for Zerg, choosing to start at the location with gas, which I think is fine. Of course, on Polypoid you have a lot of choice for bases, but, like, I feel like in these spawns, this is the better third for Frog, because gas is such a big deal, and it's also much more defensible, and it has more mineral patches, so it's sort of a win-win-win. This probe doing a good job staying alive for a significant amount of time. I think, as I say, that's about to die. No, the Jukes comes back out the side of the mineral line that it came in. I'm so bad at keeping this probe alive. It's sad. Trying desperately to see where this gas is going. Is it going to be a Hydra Den? Is it going to be a lair? I think we can, from our view of omniscience here, we can tell that it's going to be some kind of lair build. There we go. It is started here. We've seen some players start it in the natural just to avoid being scouted, but it seems like Frog is not afraid to let their opponent know that it's going to be a standard game. I think so. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to start the Cyber Core before you start Zealots, unless you're, like, desperately worried about dying. And this is going to delay this core and thereby the tech just a little bit for Couch. Which might save an Overlord or two from the wrath of some Corsairs, although I don't think we're going to see Corsairs if we have the +1 started so quickly. +1 started before the... Oh, never mind. Alright. I don't know what I'm talking about. Isn't it Stargate and then +1? Am I imagining that? Yeah, it's like, it's Stargate and then +1 ground, and then Citadel, and then Crusader. I guess you can change that up a lot, depending on, like, how many Crusaders you were going to make and all that good stuff. Spire is started for Frog. Looking like a very standard build. I assume we're going to see 3-hatch Spire into 5-hatch Hydra, and I say this every time I see this build, but, like, when Remastered came out in 2017 now, which feels like super long ago, there we go. This build was the build in this matchup. It's like, just like, it was what every Zerg went. I feel like I played like 50 PvZs in a row where Zerg was doing this. You just get the Scourge to scare away the Corsairs, and then get your big ball of Hydras. I like this Couch bringing a probe with this little Zealot push here. Of course, the probe kind of acts like a cheap +1 attack upgrade, because, of course, a Zealot takes 3 hits to kill a Link, but a Zealot and a probe takes 2 hits. I don't know if it's even worth it at this point in the game, but it is cool. I also feel like you really kind of don't want to commit with this, because your +1 attack and your legs are almost done. So I feel like you want to save these Zealots until you have way more to get that critical mass. But let's see. There's not that many Links here. Frog did not catch this move out. Probe is getting started on the hatchery. We'll have to see how that goes. Seems like this Hydra spawns just in time. Drones are pulled, but not told to attack. The drones are just hanging out here. And actually, all of the defending units from Zerg are dead. They're just trying to spawn as quick as they can from these eggs. So drones are going down a bit here. Lots of mining time is being lost. I'm honestly not sure who comes out ahead there. I feel like probably Zerg, just because so many Zealots went down, and that's going to delay the next attack from Protoss. So they're going to have plenty of time to drone and make units to their heart's desire. Scourge here trying to poke around. Seems like Couch is going to stick with one Corsair. No need to really heavily invest in that if you kind of know that it's very unlike. Oh, sticking to one Corsair, he says. So 3 is also fine. But still kind of hard to deal with these Scourge. Like, honestly, like, I probably shouldn't say this. Like, I probably shouldn't give away my whole PvZ, but, like, lately, I've just been making one Corsair to scout and then not putting more money into air unless I know they're going mutas. Like, I used to, like, get 5 Corsairs every PvZ and then try to get value out of them, but it's so hard relative to just getting one Corsair and trying to scout with it. You give so much more gas to get on tech and upgrades and stuff. It's very lucky for Couch that this pylon supports all these buildings, so that'd be really sad. A lot of Hydras here. I don't think... Storm is probably done by now. Yes. But there's only 3 Templar here, and that was some very nice dodging for a Frog. Being really annoying here with a kind of small amount of Hydras. Oh, there you go. All the Scourge go down. A few Hydras go down to Storm. I'm not sure how many more Storms we have, though. Looks like maybe 1 Storm left. And there's actually now a much bigger amount of Hydras. This is really scary here. This is why you can't afford to throw away these early Zealots. Like, it kind of snowballs like this. Zerg can pounce on that weakness really quickly. This Archon is pretty much useless versus Hydras. Like, I can't blame Couch for making it when you have Templar who are out of mana, but, like, it just gets picked off so quickly. Some goons starting here. Couch trying their best to stay in this game. Frog hiding everything. There's no need to commit and dive in. Like, so much damage has been dealt to Protoss. The Forge is rebuilt here in the natural. Trying to block off these cannons a little bit. The Archon, oh my god, the Archon survives. 8 HP, nope, never mind, it goes down right away. Templar gets sniped, so brutal for Protoss, basically being reset to the Stone Age. Having to start +2 really late here, losing all of their Templar. Just trying to pump out gateway units to survive here. These goons. Goons, like, can be pretty decent versus Hydras in small numbers, but I think there's just too many Hydras, and we even have some Lurkers started. Oh my god, Lurkers. Dude, I didn't even think about Lurkers. There's no Robo in sight. It's just cannons, but they're really exposed, and there's only 3 of them, so I feel like if Frog really committed to killing these cannons, like, they'd probably get it, but they don't even have to, because they can start every Protoss player's nightmare with the Lurker contained, and it's going to be like a million years before we see an Observer, especially with the Robo up here in fucking Siberia. Oh my god. So, pro tip, you want to build this Robo like as close to the action as you safely can, right? Like, here would be a good place, or maybe like here, because you want that Observer to spawn as soon as possible. It's an issue of like 15 seconds or something. But who cares about that? Because Couch is trying to bust out, manages to pick off quite a few Lurkers here, but at what cost? There's a total of 5 units here. It's still quite a few Hydras. 3 cannons go down. This one cannon is the only reason Couch is still in this game. I don't think it's going to stand for much longer. Oh, we have some Templar up on the cliff with some Storm energy at like a campaign level. And actually getting some really good storms. Like, Couch has had really strong storms all game. Just, it's, you know, it's so hard to follow up on them when you have no units. Frog is just pouring everything and trying to not let the pressure up. So obnoxious, shooting Lurker Spines into the gas line here. Oh, I got a text from my landlord. I gotta answer that real quick while their players fight to the death. There we go. All right, handled. Anyway, so these lurkers managed to find like the one place where the cannons can't hit them. They've shut down gas here. They're slowly whittling away at the Nexus. This observer is being, you know, one day shipped overnight to this robo, but it's all the way out here. And look how much damage is being done in the time it takes this observer to travel out. That was like 500 damage dealt to the Nexus. Like, the Nexus might die because of the time. Or maybe Couch will just save it at the last possible minute. I mean, we can see like 3 Hydras come out and kills really quickly. But it seems like Frog is probably busy or just macroing or something. Because they have let the pressure off just a bit. Couch is actually massing up a decent army here with some more 6 storms like we've been seeing. It would not be impossible for Couch to bust out. Of course, busting out here is like not even, you know, it'll put you towards getting the game to be even for the Protoss. Like, Protoss wants to take their third at like 12 minutes. So every second that Zerg can stop that is good. You see, Zerg is getting their 4th. So Frog has basically realized that they don't have to finish the game. They're already way ahead, so they can just defend this position. And we got Hella Bacon in chat. Good to see you, my man. Hella Bacon. Another CPL player. Another Protoss bro. Always good to have more of us around. Couch being given space here to get out of this contain. Another big money storm here. Frog scrambling to reposition. Oh, I got more storms. I don't know. This is looking pretty good for Protoss. But oh my god, this is starting to look like one of my replays. These Templar running into melee range, and suddenly we have these Zerg reinforcements that might tip the fight here. No, all of this leads run into one storm. Couch trying their best, killing an observer with storm. This definitely is secretly one of my replays. I do that all the fucking time. So Couch has broken out here. They could take their 3rd base now, but Zerg is going up to 5 bases. Zerg is going to rebuild their army here. This is such a hard position to be in as Protoss, because like, you have to expand. You have to like get some pressure done, and you have to like rebuild your army that you lost a bunch of stuff though. I see NCX in the chat telling me to look at the supply, and actually now that it does look a lot better for Protoss with a 40 supply lead. So fair enough, and actually there's like nothing at this base. I guess that fight was really good for Protoss, and just my my bias was kicking in. These lurkers are like they need to morph as fast as possible. Like, you know, they can like skip a few legs, right? Like, you don't really need 6 legs as a lurker. You know, just you can build them faster if they only have 4. We'll have to see if this is enough for Frog to survive. Couch trying to pick off the edges of the Zerg army here without taking too much damage. Desperately trying to keep these Templar alive. Trying to find these bunny storms. Only gets one lurker there with that one, but the other one is of course Brutus. Oh my god, so many Zerg units funnel through these storms. The Templar go down at the same time. It's such a close fight. Oh, we're about to see a bunch of reinforcements. Nycat in the chat saying that the work gates are not cold today. That's right, Couch's gateways are hot. Like the bowl that I baked my dinner in today in the microwave. I made a baked potato and the bowl was really hot. That's my cool story for the day. I don't know why I chose to go with that metaphor. But now Frog kind of on the other side. I guess the tables have turned here. Desperately trying to get some kind of defense up. Also sneaking by some lings, trying to maybe catch the Protoss third, catch some vulnerable probes, but there's already 2 cannons here at the minerals. And a zealot or 2. Some more reinforcements have shown up here, but actually I think this is way too many zealots. Like, we already have a significant amount of lurkers. I'm pretty sure you just want to go goods until high tech shows up. Alright, both players clashing here at the bottom of the hill. So much splash damage going down on both sides, but I think Protoss is getting the better end of it, as we can see them finally breaking through this line of lurkers. These units are just like, nah, man, we're good. This is okay. This is 12 units. This is like a whole controller that's just been forgotten. Oh my god, we have 7 Dark Templar in production. Holy shit, I am Couch's new, like, biggest fan. Oh, we're not gonna see him pop though. So Couch doing what is literally impossible. Getting contained by lurkers and then breaking out, and that is gonna help them win game 1. Alright, we're gonna get into game 2 of this PvZ series here. There we go. Man, I'm so rusty, I forgot all these hotkeys for casting. Alright, we're back on Ascension, as Artosis calls it, 3-player Blue Storm. In the 12 o'clock spawn, we have the now orange Zerg Frog. And in the bottom left, the victorious Protoss player in the red, my Couch pulls up. So, Ascension, we saw it before, but now that it's PvZ, I can kind of talk about it. I hate this map. I don't like this map at all. Like, it just feels uncomfortable. I don't really know if it's like, I don't really think it's like a balance thing. I just, all the bases are like really exposed and the paths are weird, and I just don't like it. It does have some decent walls though, if you know how to build them as a Protoss player. But like, if we see a lurker contain here, it's gonna be a nightmare for Protoss. Because like, look at, like, you could have some lurkers like here, and you're never gonna bust out of that as Protoss. Like, you'll have to kill like all of your own buildings here to have any kind of fighting chance against lurkers here. There's just no room for the Protoss to build up outside their natural. Of course, it's going to be a long time until we see more lurkers. It seems like both players are going for the same openings they went in the previous game, which of course is very standard. Kidding, this cannon. Before Nexus again, just a bit of the safer option, especially if you don't get the first scout. What is this pro deck? Why did this probe turn around? Is this pathing? I don't know what that was about. Was it on like a move and it saw this drone for a second? That really sucks because like that's like an extra like 10 seconds that Couch is not going to scout, and that's really scary as Protoss. Like you don't know what is happening. Okay, so like it must be that like that Couch saw the drone on the mini-map but didn't see what it was and thought it was like, oh no, it's like a 6-spool or something. That must be what happened, because I don't know why else in the world you would pull all these probes up here to fight one drone, right? So Couch is like really embarrassed right now. But not like too far behind from that, you know, maybe like 50 minerals lost, so it's okay. Probe trying to stay alive like it did in the first game. Trying to figure out what build Frog is going for, but it seems like Frog is very standard. It's like both players take the game, you know, they just do the meta builds. We don't have any weird shenanigans like proxy gateways or like 5-hatch no gas Hydra, stuff like that. So I assume we're going to see a layer again. That's what I'm trying to say here. The probe is still alive. Did see the layer. Now, of course, Zerg can do all kinds of nasty things, like they can just make a layer and then still go 3-hatch Hydra, or cancel the layer and go 3-hatch Hydra, or do whatever, but, you know, you feel a bit better seeing the layer start. And I believe that the core was started before the Zealot this time. And you kind of see, like, it's like 20 seconds ahead, which is nice, of where it was in the last game. But look at this, 3 gateways before like the Citadel is even started. Actually, there is going to be no Citadel, it seems like. So this is gonna be, we're just going to see Zealots. Try to get them out in a really fast window here before Zerg is ready. And this is going to be good against this like 3-hatch Spire into 5-hatch Hydra build, because there's a long period of time where you don't have that many units. Because you're expecting the Protoss to take a very standard timeline themselves. And it's going to be a while before we have Scourge to scout out the Protoss base here, so these Zealots could move out like soon. Like maybe after the next wave from these 2 Zealots, from these 2 gateways, probably like before the Forge even finishes this upgrade, and that could catch Zerg really off guard. Because look, there's just like there's no units. There's 4 links, and that's it. And there's gonna be like some Scourge next, maybe like 2 Hydras. I'm trying to ban this bot in my chat and I mistyped his name. Stand by, everybody. Let's see. Oh, come on. How do I do this? There we go. Bam. Alright, we did it. Justice. Anyway. Oh, and these Zealots even try to sneak around, but of course there's no ruler here because they're dumb. We do have even more, so we have 9 Zealots here from the Protoss, and what is there going to be to stop them? Okay, we have a sunk behind Sim City here, which is always really good, and we have a sunk at the 3rd base, but still 6 Scourge being made? I feel like that must be a mistake from Frog. If you see this many Zealots, you know there's no Scourge. You don't have to make Scourge. Couch deciding to attack the 3rd base instead, which is probably a good choice because the Sunk is much more exposed here. A few Zealots go down, but so do most of the Zerg defenders. The Sunken is getting picked off really quickly. Drones trying to fight here. It's slow Zealots versus slow Hydras. These Zealots are doing good. Two drones here in danger. The third base itself in danger. A wave of reinforcements, and again, bring the probe along just to get that extra oomph. The speed upgrade and the +1 attack are about to finish here. Speed is done. And we're using the speed to retreat. What is this? It's just waiting for the ground upgrade, maybe. It's so close. When is it going to finish? Zealots trying their hardest to scare off these Hydras. There we go. +1 does finish. It does make a difference. First Hydras, it's like 6 shots versus 8 or something like that. It's not quite as dramatic as it is with flames, but it does help. I never know what to focus in this scenario. Like, should I just focus on fighting? Should I a YOLO on the hatchery? I'm not sure. Confusion on both sides here. Both players, trying to kite back and forth. Seems like the hatchery does go down. Zealots take so many shots from Hydras to die. Here we go. Zealots are fighting the Zerg now. Frog desperately trying to save this third base, trying to stay in this game. We have a lurker, and just like before, there's nothing. There's no robo. There's only cannons. It worked out okay for Couch. As Hella Bacon points out, we have quite a lot of money here for the Protoss. Seems like they were very focused on this attack, which is, oh my god, paying off with the surround here on a good amount of Hydras, and Frog taps out. So who needs the macro, right? You just kill all the Hydras, and then you're good. And that is going to be the second series, which is also going to go to Fear Factory. Now we can start our next one. It's going to be Bale versus Camodez. By the way, does anyone know, is it Bale or Ball? Because if it's like the Canaanite deity or whatever, I'm pretty sure it's Bale. But like every other caster calls them Ball, so I don't know. All right, there you go. NCX just claiming it with authority. I'm gonna go with it. It's Bale. Yeah, dude. Hella Bacon, if you kill all the Hydras, you just can't lose. Like, you don't need to spend money. Money can't kill Hydras. Alright, here we go. In the top right, the Purple Zerg Camodez fighting for the IRK clan as well as the Cheese Police. And in the bottom left, the Green Zerg Bale on Fear Factory and Ash. NCX cheering for Bale here. Major team pride. So that first ZVZ series that we saw tonight was very close. With constant aggression from Yavolo here. So we'll have to see if we see that again. There's so many different ways that builds can line up in this matchup. Apparently, NCX is on Ash as well, so it's double team pride. There's so much pride. Here we have a 9 pool from Camodez and over something from Bale, so we're already seeing some divergence. Both players scouting in the wrong direction. And like in the super wrong direction where they're not even going to see the enemy Overlord. So they're both made completely in the dark about the build and position of their opponent. Seems like a 12 pool from Bale. So I think this should be good for Bale as long as they are on the defensive, because they'll just have 3 more drones. But of course, Camodaz will have that timing where they have speed first, especially because this gas isn't even started. So I feel like maybe we're going to see a hatchery. Yes, we are seeing this drone head out to the natural. So this is going to make that time window where Camodez should be being on the attack that much longer here. But of course, if Bale can hold on to this natural, they're going to be even farther ahead. The Lings from Camodez already started, or I mean, already on the map, splitting up a bit here to scout the 2 corners of the map where Bale could be. The Lings are just going to finish in time from Bale. Speed, though, is almost done for Camodez, and that is a big deal. Like, you wouldn't think that it makes a big difference. It's melee versus melee, but the speed upgrade, it just lets you get those little surrounds off. You get better trades. It's very strong. Ooh, but Camodez runs into this concave before speed is done, letting Bale get a much better trade here, and this is starting to look good here. This second hatchery is almost done. That extra larva production is about to kick in. That drone lead is only down to 1 now, but Bale can still pump Lings out of those larvae. We do finally have speed started for the Green Zerg and the lair. So I assume that the gas just piled up. Well, I wasn't paying attention, because like you shouldn't be able to get both those things at the same time like that, right? If you get the pool that far, but before the gas. Spire is done though before when the layer is like 20% done. So Camodez is going to have a very big window of time with these mutas, but is it going to be enough to stop all of the Lings? They're going to come out of Bale here. Now, the fact that we have a sunk here, I actually don't like this. Again, I'm a Protoss, so big brain in this matchup. But I feel like at this point, Bale should know that they've survived the attack. So like at this point, until those mutas are out, like Bale's just has way more Lings. So I feel like you don't need the sunken unless you're going to attack and you don't want to get backstabbed. Maybe. But I feel like if these mutas are done, and then we're gonna have like 2 minutes where Camodez has mutas and Bale does not, that this sunk is not gonna help. Like I feel like the Lings should be trying to kill Camo right now, but maybe Bale is just gonna go for the more defensive, like get some spores, just accept that you're gonna be up behind. But we don't see any evos. I don't know. We need to like see a bunch of Scourge come out. Ooh, 1 Ling does make it here. Gets the scout. Doesn't really go for drones. Just trying to get that info. There we go. Trying to get now trying to get some drone damage. The drones from Camo are pulled. 1 goes down. What a god. What a hero Ling. Now the drone leads up to 5. But these mutas are here. Alright, what can Camo do? Like Bale is going to move out now, knowing that they had to make some kind of pressure to keep these mutas away, because they don't have anything to actually kill the mutas. Because these mutas are forced to try to kill these Lings rather than kill drones. Trying to give Bale time to build up their own air force. Oh, and now Camo has this defensive position. Probably trying to build a natural with his drone, I would imagine. This is actually giving him a very good trade versus these Lings with Bale. But now, there we go. Now Bale has their own mutas. So basically, the Lings have done what they wanted to do. Ooh, it's going to be like 5 versus 3, which is a very significant lead for Camo does here. Bale just needs to buy time for these extra larvae and extra gas to pay off. And here we go. It's 5 versus 3 or 4 versus 3. I can't even count. Bale is just trying to run away, trying to buy more time. Camo trying to do that. A moving shot. Can't get it quite right. Bale just flapping as hard as he can, trying to keep his Muta alive. Scourge pop here. Ooh, it seems like they both went on one Muta. Not ideal normally, but it should be enough here. Oh, this fight is so close. So many Mutas are bruised, but I think Camo is still going to win because all those Mutas from Bale were bruised up. Camo does not confident enough to continue the assault because of all these lings that have made it into the main here. I don't know if I like trying to kill the Spire. I think you just want to kill drones. I'm not sure, but I guess if the Spire dies, it's pretty good. Oh my god. Oh no, 10 HP left on the Spire. That sucks for Bale. Like, that's basically 0 damage until the Spire dies for real. Whereas if you kill even one drone, it does damage right now. Speaking of one drone, what a boss. Oh man, you could have just flexed with that drone carrying the minerals. And then flexing, no, there's the legs. More legs streaming across the map. Like, shouldn't Camo have just gotten a sunken or something? Like, I feel like if there was a sunk, then these Mutas could have just killed drones. I don't know. But now, with that Scourge hit, actually, Camo is still ahead. Picking off the weakened Mutas. Oh, we got 2 Scourge, kill 2 Mutas. It's just 1 Muta left with 9 kills. The air count has been reset, but Camo just hold off these lings. Oh, the Spire goes down. And Camo taps out. Just too much going on for me to even notice. A nice game from Bale there. NCX will be proud. To bring us to game 2 here, back on Ascension. Alright, in the 12 o'clock, it's the greens are again Bale, and once again purple for the consistent color choices. It's Iron Case Camo Daz. And just like our first ZVZ on this map, the Overlords are going to meet in the empty base. So it'll be a while before the players each know what their opponent is doing. Is 6 pool a thing in this matchup? I feel like 9 pool is so common, and 9 pool should beat it, right? I don't think I've ever seen a pool before 9. Unless it's like a sunken rush on a map with creep or something stupid. Oh, I guess you could just sunken rush on their own. I don't look. I'm Protoss, right? I don't really know what I'm talking about. I don't think I ever see like 6 or 7 pool or anything like that in this matchup. Speaking of, it seems like we're going to see 9 pool from both players. Starting with Camo, it's just a second or 2 ahead of time. And the follow-up gas, both players going 9 pool gas. Which I feel like is the most standard build in this matchup. And this is, I feel like this is gonna, like, at least for me, I hate being in this kind of position where my opponent and I are doing like basically the exact same thing because I don't really know when to like tech, right? It just feels very fragile. Because like, well, if I spend some money on teching or something, then I objectively just have a smaller army, and I don't have any Like, it's not like I can have, like, Storm and they don't, right? Especially in ZVZ, where I think the defender's advantage is pretty weak. Especially on a map like this with a flat choke. Where is it? It's down here, right? Yeah, here we go. Like, with a flat choke, it's that much easier for the attacker to bust in. What are we talking about? Yeah, like, I'm just saying that this seems like a hard position to be in as both players when you're both on the same build. Lings meeting in the middle of the map. Honestly, I'm not sure who's getting the better end of it. Okay, there you go. Kamades takes a bunch of free hits. Camo retreating back to their base here. Ooh, hiding 4 Lings here up on the ramp. Never mind, not hiding them, having them join up right away. Bale loses a bunch of Lings here. See what's going on back at home. So somehow the lair from Bale started just a bit earlier. I feel like both players are focusing really hard on these Ling squads in the middle of the map. Nice surround here for Bale. Setting up that trap, getting that one Ling. So many bruised Lings for Camo here from these engagements, whereas like basically all of the Lings of Bale are at full health. Just like a very silly thing to point out, but it you know, it could be pretty big. Bale getting a sunken along with the Spire. Meanwhile, Camo getting supply blocked, I guess? Which means I guess they have more Lings. There you go. Starting the Spire about 150 HP worth of time later. So not like a huge thing, but it could continue to snowball. If Bale is like half a production cycle ahead or something. This Overlord from Bale is finally going to get in, see the exact scout timing, or the exact Spire timing, but this Ling gets in, basically completely nullifying all of the work that this Overlord made aiding across the map. Like right when he's about to finish, this Ling comes in, he's like, no, I got it, I got all the vision. Camo, like, kind of hiding these Lings here in the corner. I think we're, like, setting up for a backstab or something. But I don't know if Bale intends to leave the choke point here. No, we have a bunch of Lings from Camo. Never mind, Bale immediately bails on the choke point. Fighting with the Sunken, but there's so many Lings from Camo. Where did this all come from? The Mute is popping. Drones trying to micro in this little choke here between the Spire and the lair, but so many of them are going down, even with the Sunken, even with the Mutas. The Lings from Camo getting a good trade, and a few of them get away. This Overlord will have to be a disappointing consolation prize for Bale after that exchange. Oh, and Camo went for Scourge right away. Tried to reset the Muta count, and it is basically reset down to 1. But now Bale making some Scourge of their own. Can they catch this Muta? Trying his best to get out of there. The Overlord trying to do a distract. It works for now, but that Scourge hits his Muta, so it's basically dead. Yep, here we go. It's dead. So Bale is still ahead in the air here. It has some more Scourge to immediately pick off any Mutas that happen to hatch here. Oh, the Scourge being miscontrolled, basically losing 3 Scourge to kill 1 Muta there in the end, but Maybe this is the trade that you can afford to take when you're already ahead. Ooh, Camo even getting the +1 attack, but who cares, because Camo taps out as all of their drones die. Oh, it seems like also there was some links trying to kill the drones of Bale. You know, that could have been important. But Bale does win the series. NCX's dreams are met, or are made real. And Fear Factory is going to take the 3rd series so far. Just one chance left for the Cheese Police to get something on the scoreboard. And if there was one player that NCX would root for more than Bale, it would be NCX, who we are going to see in this series. All right. In the top right, in the chat, it's the olive-ish Zerg NCX. And in the bottom left of Polypoid, which is the correct map, it's the Navy Zerg a bug. NCX, did you think it was Fighting Spirit, maybe? These people get, you know, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes when you're at the start of a game. So NCX, by the way, absolutely clowned on me. I think in like week 1, that was a ZVP, of course. But you know, if you can beat me, then you must be like the top of your tier, right? Clearly. NCX saying in ZVZ, I don't really prepare for the map. Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like the map barely matters in this matchup. Like, as long as it's not something crazy like Sparkle. Like, the number of spawns is gonna change how easy it is to scout your opponent, and like, the ramp makes a tiny difference in defensibility, but not that much, because you can have your Overlord give you vision of the ramp anyway, and it's melee versus melee, so like, I don't feel like the high ground advantage makes that much of a difference in this matchup. So I kind of feel like the map doesn't really matter that much in this matchup. Here we go. We do have Bug taking their natural with a 12 hatch. Meanwhile, it looks like a 12 pool from NCX about to be followed up by hatchery. And I assume we're going to see a pool here from Bug. So very similar builds, just a bit safer here for NCX. I don't think this is going to give like that much opportunity for NCX to punish their opponent, but they're going to be very similar positions. And actually, the gas starting much quicker for NCX. I don't know if this is intentional or part of the build, or a mistake is what I should say. Like, this is just late to get this gas. Where's this drill going? Are we going to see like a 3rd hatchery? Are we seeing a 2nd hatchery at the natural? What? 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 Dude, I've never seen this. So it's not... Oop. Well, I haven't seen the game right now. I hit the wrong button. There we go. I have never seen this. I've never seen such a quick 3rd hatchery here. And, like, it's blind, too. Like, if you were against, like, 9 pull speed or something, like, wouldn't you just be dead? I guess we have to, you know, blind get this creep colony as well. Of course, NCX is not going 9 pull. So, not going to be, like, a huge flood of links, but this lair is miles ahead. The gas isn't even done yet for a bug, let alone the lair starting. these mutas from NCX are going to be way ahead, but A-Bug is going to have so many links. Or at least so many larvae. It's up to them what to do with it. But I feel like you want to just start to flood links. Because we've seen link floods off of 2 hatcheries, but with a 3rd hatchery, like, surely you can just make so much stuff. A-Bug, oh my god, this miracle Zerling. Gets in, sees everything, knows exactly what NCX is doing. And he's like, oh, you're going for, like, this smooth brain, like, standard build. You're like 10 years in the past, buddy. It's triple hatchery ZVZ time. And then Evo Chamber. So A-Bug is not going for the Ling all-in. It's just, oh my god, Hydras. Okay. Okay. We're seeing this. So, like 99.99% of ZVZ at any level is Ling Muta Scourge versus Ling Muta Scourge, unless the game ends before mutas can come out, right? Like, so you have like Lings, and then you get into the Muta and Scourge stage. But some memers really, really want to make Hydras work. So sometimes we see players go for Hydra builds, and it's definitely like a higher frequency than normal in the CPL. So, what is the advantage of Hydras? I don't even really know what is actually good about them, other than the fact that they're unusual. So your opponent is not likely to know how to deal with them. I think it's kind of like if you get like a ton of them, it's good. So you try to build up this death ball. Oh my god, look at completely walling off their own gas. What is going on? But like they're so weak early on to mutas that, like, even though you're getting the only ground to air unit that Zerg has, you still have to get so many spore colonies to not die. Now we have Mediocre in the chat mentioning that Hawk has recommended Hydra ZBZ to players below B rank. We do sometimes see builds that are like recommended to, you know, not a Gosu players, something like Mech in TPC, like the Goliath build, where like even if it's not like, you know, even if it's like 80 to 90% as strong as Bio, it's like only 50% of the difficulty of execution. So it just makes more sense as a new player. So here, what damage can NCX get here with these glaives? Already gotten one drone. You know, that's cool. Effectively gotten 5 drones by forcing all of these spores to be made, but a bug is still ahead, even with all that damage. That's just 6 drones that I keep calling main force there. Mediocre is saying if you macro right, the Hydras scale better, but you need a ton of upgrades, or you need a ton of Hydras, and you need to be on time with your upgrades, which makes sense. But like I feel like, you know, like if you did this in the ASL, which is obviously way different from the CPL, like even if you got off the dream with Hydras, like, you know, you got to macro up a huge Hydra ball, that the Muta player would still be able to micro enough to just kill all of the Hydras, because they kind of be like worse Marines. Yeah, Mediocre is of course crediting Hawk with their Sage device, which is good, because you won't get credit for this essay unless you cite your sources in the correct format. NCX trying to get some damage done. Actually, I think losing like the stacking Overlord maybe to those Hydras, not finding much opportunity with this network of spore colonies here. Ooh, getting Carapace for these links, and I don't know if this is good or not. I mean, it kind of makes sense, because like I feel like Lings alone should do really good against Hydras, right? Because Lings themselves only take half damage. we're about to find out. So NCX has gotten their own third hatchery, and it's at the third base, taking advantage of the fact that, you know, they understand that Hydra has to take a really long time to build up. And I compared Hydras to Marines earlier, and it's starting to look much more like a ZVT with this wall of Sunkens. Oh god, we have Queen's Nest too? Okay. Now we're styling. We're even getting the ensnare. So like, A-Bug read like a strategy post on Team Liquid where somebody who has like 10 hours played in the game is coming up with new meta strats here. We're gonna see if the Queen ensnare strat really works here. Is trying to run back to the main, but spores are still here. Of course, when you have 11 mutas, you can kind of just dive on the spores. But A-Bug has no interest in trying to defend their main from that. They're just going to move across the map, try to force the mutas to defend, which seems like is a trade that NCX has accepted here. We have a bunch of sunks, not really in an arc, kind of in like a squished question mark here at the natural, but it's still so many Sunkens. Of course, the third base is completely undefended, but will A-Bug even think to look for that? Oh my god, so many Sunkens. This is peak ZVZ, everybody. Sunkens versus Hydras. This ensnare, it better be huge. I wonder if you ensnare a mineral line, what is the economic damage? Like, how much does it hurt mining? It's like clearly not worth it, but I just thought of that. I wonder how much damage it will do. Like, how much does it slow a worker by? Here we go. NCX trying to micro here, getting one Hydra for free there. Trying to bait them into the Sunkens, and it's working. There you go. Hydra number 2 is down. Actually, and I just now look at the drone count. Actually, NCX is way up in drones, and with this third base, like to spread out the drones on more minerals, their income is going to be way ahead of the Hydra player here. NCX placing some lings on the map just to get a better understanding of where the reinforcements are. So we already have +1 air attack, and we're getting +2, which is like unheard of. Oh my god, here we go. We got the ensnare. The mutas managed to make it back to the wall of Sunkens. NCX box selecting every unit they have here to fight. I have no idea who wins this. Another ensnare on the lings. I think the Hydras are just crumbling. No, NCX, what are you doing? Don't leave. You're winning the fight. Cares about the green goo, dude. Yeah, I feel like retreating with all these units was a mistake. Even with the ensnare, like, it looked really bad for the Hydras. Like, we have like a wounded set left. Oh, but the third base is found. You almost don't even need to send the Hydras to it because it's one ling. That might have even killed 6 drones. The mutas are no longer puked on. They can hunt down these Hydras freely. And what does the game look like now? Basically, the economies have been reset, or set back to being equal for now. This third base is going to be much harder to defend now that A-Bug knows it exists. But the Hydra count was basically reset for A-Bug, and NCX kept most of their mutas alive. And I feel like that's going to keep snowballing into an advantage for NCX. Like, I think we have more mutas than there are Hydras here, which is not a good exchange. Oh, like, they're so clumped, though. Another huge ensnare. Is it enough? I feel like you shouldn't even be retreating. Like, if you can't, you might as well be dealing damage, right? I don't know. But this ensnare, god, it's like, it has to be like a more than 50% reduction to speed right now. It's 4 mutas. Oh my god. Like, how do you, like, I guess you just have to, like, avoid stacking them. You split them into, like, 6 control groups or something, and you come from different directions so they don't stack. Looking at my cat, who's considering chewing on some wires right now. I might just stop him from doing that. Anyway, some Hydras get intercepted by these fresh mutas here. And even after taking that, those huge losses in that fight earlier, there's still way more mutas. The Queen does go down. It's regicide. We have 2 Hydras shut down the third base again, though. I just think this is still really good for NCX here. Oh yeah, of course, now I'm looking at the supply. It's about double. So, you know, I think I can safely say that these Hydras are being left out in the open. Without that Queen, A-Bug basically has no chance of winning a fight in the open round, and they tap out. NCX takes the game. And I wonder if A-Bug will be deleting the H key from their keyboard, or if they'll be bringing in Hydras into the remaining games for the series. What is my cat doing? He's not eating it. He's just messing around down there. Okay. We're good. We're heading once more to Ascension. For once, there's no player at the top. In the bottom left, it's A-Bug in the purple Zerg. And in the bottom right, it's NCX in the blue. NCX getting the better first scout off. Which is definitely something that you want when you know that the opponent can go for Hydras, right? Like, you want to get eyes on that as soon as possible, because it does change the way you play as the non-Hydra player. For A-Bug, though, scouting in the wrong direction, so no help there. You know, I said earlier, I'd never see 7 pull. We're at 7 supply, and there's no more drones being made. I think we're gonna see a 7 pull. A-Bug does not want to play a standard ZVZ. Just want to dodge that as much as possible. Ooh, 7 pull with gas? So it's gonna be speed too. Now, do you bring a drone to try to make a sunken colony? That's what I would like to see. I would love to see that. A proxy creep colony. In StarCraft 2, which I know is, you know, kind of cursed, like the vision of the hatchery was slightly less than the creep radius. So if you weren't careful, they could start, and you could start a spine crawler like in the very tiny hex where they couldn't see. And it helps that spine crawlers are much smaller than sunken colonies, so it's harder to catch. Like, it's definitely not actually good, but it was possible. NCX. It's like I think this is 12 pull into hatchery, right? Like 12 pull in a natural, something like that. A-Bug is stopping at 100 gas, getting that speed. Ooh, but NCX, whoa, what is NCX doing? Not going into the main, trying to check the unnatural here, and then turning back. Okay. Nice move. Now, do you know what this is? Like, when you look at this, you're like, oh yes, of course, it was 7 pull. You're just like, oh my god, how there's so many lings? Oh god. NCX is gonna have to make lings here. do you try to defend the natural, or do you abandon it and like sunk up in your main and just try to survive? I don't know. We have, what is this, 10 speed links about to hit versus 10 slow links and 4 drones. So it's gonna come down to micro here. NCX trying to defend the natural. The drone's getting a bit confused. They can't really help in this fight just yet. Oh, but it's so close. You have 4 links left for Bug. The drones, they just don't want to fight. There you go. They do get the killing blow here on that link. And now this looks pretty good for NCX. The drone counts are even, but they have a natural. Their speed is almost done. They're going to get this sunken up. And A-Bug has 600 minerals, but only so many larvae to spend it. Trying to think about setting up a natural here, but take a long time before that can pay off. NCX is pumping out links of their own, and Bug knows that they've been beaten. And that is going to finish the final series for tonight. It's going to be a clean sweep for the Fear Factory. Oh, I can't even... A-Bug is on Cheese Police, and they cheese, and I didn't even point it out. I'm disappointed in myself. But anyway, NCX and the rest of the Fear Factory Tier 1 team should not be disappointed in themselves, because they won every series today, and actually every game. And that's cool. By the way, so we have NCX in the chat saying, thanks for getting to my games. Dude, I understand, because I only get casted when I lose. And like, I have series that I won that I'm really proud of that just don't get cast. So I understand the desire to get some previous games.
A sloppy game right now.
I'm looking for someone to raid, and I accidentally opened Artos' stream. Who am I gonna raid here? Okay, I don't know who this is, but we'll do it. Oh, dude, I can't self-cast. It's too awkward. It just didn't do your games at the end? Oh no, that sucks. Alright, here we go, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next Thursday with more games. See ya.